Yeah. I know they mad for no reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Gotta move fast for a reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Oh, 700K, I'm selling a Bitcoin. Haters mad, but they listen to this one. More profit coming to my direction. Yeah, you know me, I don't need a mention. I got the remedy, ooh, yeah. They don't just follow me, ooh, yeah. You say allegedly, ooh, yeah. You would subscribe to me, ooh, yeah. Staring at chart, drawing a line. Make a decision, you out of time. Huddling, huddling, huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, huddling. I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Stay on stage. OnChain Revolution. Guns. Boom.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and we've seen something in the last 30 minutes to an hour that was just really, really unbelievable. Well, maybe we should believe it at this point, right? Crypto needs to grow the hell up because this is terrible. You don't see other assets do this. You don't see other assets just fly up, 3-4% and immediately go back down 4%. Like, it's just not something you see. And this is our market right now. This is who we are as a ecosystem. We are this gambling part of it. I mean, even Bitcoin, for instance, right? Like, imagine these TradFi investors holding this and seeing this. Why the hell would they want to hold this? Like, it feels like, the leverage trading is just unbelievable to the point of it's just mind games. And maybe it's because we're in a down market. Most people think that we are in a bear market. Most the other half of the people, the other 30% of the people are saying, hey, we're going to have a bullish 2026. I don't know. I'm mentally exhausted with this market right now, right? Like, it seems like the only thing we really have to look forward to is these meme coins and stuff like that. Like, the projects that are building, a lot of them running out of money. We do have some pretty amazing builders in the space that are really leading the way, like Emblem Vault and Merlin Chain and Omnity and stuff like that. And you're not really seeing any other really big projects besides the ones that are really well funded, right? And we need to kind of look into where we can really invest instead of gamble. And I think that's kind of what our title is all about today. Crypto needs to grow up. So we're getting into that. We have some pretty cool stuff. We have something from way back from 2010 that I'm going to get into. Kraken officially launched its fun little sports game, where you can buy, for instance, like Allen from the Bills, quarterback, and like you can sell them, and so it's like a fantasy type of thing. It looks pretty cool. We're gonna get into that. Kraken officially confirmed the listing of Terra Luna as well. Tether rolls out PearPass, which is pretty cool. We'll get into that. And silver, now the 4th largest asset by market cap, and we're getting into so much more as well. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. I'm bringing my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? I'm feeling like mentally exhausted from the last hour. Like, it's kind of sad in a way that this even happened on a day like today.
Yeah, I mean, the price action for Bitcoin's just almost kind of like juking everybody out, right? It's like we're going forward, we're pulling back, we're going forward. Speculation on tonight's, address to the nation, I think, with Trump, but at the same time, it's weird. It's very weird because it looks strong for about 30 minutes ago. Like we were catching some momentum, only to really reverse. And just it's a crazy market. I feel like it's kind of putting everything kind of in perspective of what we've been dealing with. Today's price action is kind of, it's like a perfect example, right? It's just like doesn't know where it wants to go, but every other asset class is like, we're gonna go up. But we believe in this space, and that's why we're here, right? We show up every day, and I'm gonna keep saying that because that's what we do. We're gonna do that, and you got to have that this is where the conviction, I think, matters the most, to keep you pushing forward.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of looking at other markets right now because everything was kind of green. So the Nasdaq is dumping here. In the last hour, they are down 1.28%. They were actually green, looking green this morning. So that is weird. Same thing with the S&P, same thing with Dow Jones. So maybe something happened because these were all green this morning. Now they're all kind of looking red. Gold is up another 0.6%, sitting at 43.28. Silver is now the 4th largest asset in the world. So we'll get into that as well later. But yeah, man. Let's kind of get into our first topic here because I think it's important. Crypto needs to grow up. The next phase will create the real winners. So when we were talking about this we and originally we had a different idea where we wanted to take it, but now I'm kind of looking at it and it kind of goes perfect with what just happened, right? Where Bitcoin goes to from 85K a few days ago up to 90K, back down to about 86, 87 where we're at now. The space kind of needs to grow up. We're so focused on the gambling aspect when it comes to hyperliquid, when it comes to poly market. Can the space succeed as just a gambling hub for TradFi?
Can it continually exist? Sure. Casinos have existed for a very long time. And there's a very strategic business model to where the house has the edge, right? And people keep coming back. So I think it can continue on that way, but how will it be perceived if it is? I think it won't be taken seriously by, these huge institutions necessarily, right? But I don't think it does continue with that being the main theme, because the institutions are already here, so they are going to be creating like their version of our game, I think, in the areas that they're at, whether it's the ETF or, they're going to be introducing leverage and stuff like that. And, options are going to become more and more prominent. So the gambling aspect of it, it's really strong right now amongst really Web3 natives that, have been here for a while, have experience in previous cycles. And I think the nature of that is because the nature of crypto has always been like, oh, this is a chance for like the regular everyday person, the blue collar worker, to be able to make a lot of money from not much, right? Yeah. So because there's almost like this quick, like instant gratification with crypto, like in terms of like its reputation, I think that easily transitioned into like a gambling mindset, right? Whether it's these meme coin launch pads or predictions markets or what, almost everything it has some sort of tie to high risk, right? But stocks are risky too, right? Now, obviously, as you get closer to the prominent stocks, the larger market caps, it's safer. And you could say that for this industry as well, but yeah, I think to be able to shake off this, okay, crypto is just a straight gambling like mecca, then you need to have more real world type of projects and companies come out of it, and people need to start looking harder and giving more weight to like revenue and these type of things, right? And that's a transition because you're going from one way of how the space was naturally, how it evolved, and then now how it's going to be transitioning into something that's not looked at as a quick, fly by overnight, get rich type of situation.
Yeah, I agree. In crypto, when you think about crypto, the top 3 sectors right now obviously are, leverage trading, which, I think is just gambling, right? And then you have prediction markets, which is obviously just gambling, and then meme coins. Meme coins, depending on where you're at as an investment, like I think you can invest in stuff like Doge. and maybe a few of the other ones. But at the end of the day, they're still the riskiest investment. I don't really call anything else in the meme coin sector an actual investment rather than a trade, right? So our space right now is, it's gambling, gambling, gambling. There's no real real thing here. There's no real underlining investment thesis anymore now. I mean, maybe DeFi, maybe Chainlink, right? I don't know. How do you feel with that?
So I do think that there's the opportunities, but you have to have a very strong strategy with them, right? And you can't be thinking of getting in early and that kind of mindset. Like you have to separate your mindset from like meme coin mindset, which is fast paced trading, along with trying to get in early market caps and have a huge ceiling, right? But that's the reason why it's so risky, is because the upside is big. But for a more conservative and safer and almost conviction type of strategy, I think that you got to pick out some of these chains and companies that have ways for you to get exposure, right? Whether that's like something that still has a good upside, like something like Hustle, or like Merlin, or like Hyperliquid, or like these type of tokens that have companies behind them driving revenue. And then how do you take advantage of that with not having a lot of money? You don't necessarily have to go into leverage, right? You can go into low leverage to try to get a little bit of a head start, but I think that there's going to be a lot of people that come out of this cycle and really learn how to swing trade doing spot. And that way you either have a bag that you're stuck with because the price had dumped pretty hard, but it's in a token that you have complete conviction in, you believe in them, you see that they're making revenue, you see that they're doing all the right things, which you're going to be more okay with than if you get stuck bag holding some meme coin that quickly shot up to like 10, 15 million and then dumped hard, right? So I think the mindset just needs to change for the true opportunities. And that's kind of how I'm starting to look at the space. And then people might say, well, if you're stuck in that mindset, whenever things do become more liquid and there's a lot more participants, then what? You just got to adjust. And I think that's one of the things that's been the hardest for the Web3 native people, is that adjusting on the fly this year, whenever you felt like you just knew the space so well. It's kind of like, okay, I know how this is going to go, but then you keep seeing the opposite of what you know from previous history, right? And so I think being able to adjust on the fly, being open-minded and flexible and versatile is going to be important, but doing it in a smart way and trying to figure out where those opportunities are in a smart way. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of right now in terms of opportunity for our space, unless you have size. If you have size, it's a little different.
Well, what I'm kind of hearing though, and feel free to tell me I'm wrong, is trade or die. Either you're going to trade these assets. There's no investment here, is kind of what I'm hearing from you, right? It's either trade or die, because if Bitcoin goes up to 120 and then crashes back down to 70, it doesn't matter if you're still bullish on the company at all. It's not the company's fault. It's Bitcoin.
Yeah, so I think that you can do this in a way to where it's both. You have conviction and you can swing trade it, right? So like your goal could be, if I'm going to be trading tokens, I want to trade tokens that I have conviction in case I am back holding, or I want to accumulate more tokens of that without adding more size and being very strategic about swing trading it, right? So either you're going to be in more USD, or you're going to have more of that token unless it free falls, right? So if it free falls, obviously you're going to be holding the bag in that until that position comes back, or you decide, okay, I'm just going to cut my losses at like a 15% drop or something, right? Underneath the invalidation zone or something. And then you kind of see where it settles again. Right. So I think that is an approach to where you can have a little bit of both. You still believe in the token. Obviously, that's why you're trading it in the strategy. Two, if things go your way, you can either have more USDC or more of that token. Or three, which is the situation that wouldn't go in your favor necessarily, is where it dropping below that invalidation zone, right? And if it does, you make a decision at that point. Do I just cut out of this, or and then wait till it resets a new zone, or kind of how it's going to flow, or you hold on to them and you kind of bag hold that.
So I'm still hearing like you have to trade these. So there's no real investment here in our space then, right? Like for instance, like in TradFi, right? With let's just say Nvidia is kind of like the Bitcoin over there, right? But even when Nvidia drops, right, you'll have like all the tech stocks kind of drop with that. But then you're able to kind of go into things like retail stocks, and you're able to go into different sectors, value, for instance, what Warren Buffett likes to trade or likes to invest in. We don't have that in crypto, right? So it's like everything kind of goes down together and goes up together. So why not just trade Bitcoin on leverage? Why even mess around with anything else? If
Well, you
everything just
can.
kind of lives and die by Bitcoin.
Well, I don't think so. You do have one-offs, right? So let's say that you had a high conviction in Merlin chain, right? Then as everything's crashing, Merlin's holding steady. We've seen that the past couple months.
Yeah.
In fact, it's gone up too as well, different times. And then you've also seen sectors kind of do okay while the rest of the market's not. Like privacy had their moment, right? And so there's not necessarily as many options, of course, than you do have in TradFi, but not everything goes down and up together as much as it seems. Majority does, but you've got to do a lot of hard research and figuring out, okay, look, I can either swing trade this token or I can just invest in it and hold it, because I believe in, BTC Fi. That's why I'm holding my Merlin, stack, and I just keep adding to it because I believe in that. That's the investment approach. Now, is there a ton of those options? I think that's where the question really comes into play. No, I guess it doesn't really come into play too often because there isn't that many options, but there are options. You just got to do deep dive research on those. And once the market starts to heal, of course, then everything will seem a lot better. But that's where my mindset is right now. It's like these conviction companies and plays, like how can I acquire more or obtain more, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's move along. Bitcoin pumped from 3,300. Bitcoin pumped 3,300 from 87.1 to 90.4 and liquidated 106 million worth of shorts. And then it went the other way and liquidated $100 million worth of longs. Yeah. I mean, what are we gonna? It just sucks. It just really sucks, right? And it's just like it's just leverage trading. It's all it is. It's all it is right now. Is people going long, those same people jumping to the other side, going short. But when you do zoom out, I guess for the most part, you do kind of you do see this, right? Let me actually show this. This is the Bitcoin chart, right? So every time we have dumped 30, so this kind of goes back to what we were talking about a few weeks ago. Bitcoin usually has about 30% drops in every cycle. So now we have officially seen the third one, down to about, I want to say 78,000, 80,000, maybe at the bottom there, and go up here. So when you zoom out, this chart right here is telling us that we've been at the bottom, and right now we're just kind of in this phase or this phase, and the upward momentum is coming. Do you see that?
I hope this is the third one, right? And it's not something that's going to go into free fall, but I keep looking at other indicators that we've used on the show, like the DXY, and I feel like the DXY is right at the threshold of starting to go below, which would be a good sign for Bitcoin. So I'm hoping that's the case. Obviously, we see kind of a repeat of behavior once it does breach that 30 to, you can say 36, I guess, because that's the highest, right? 32 to 36% drawback. So you have to imagine, the next upward trajectory would be some sort of like intense push up. But that's what I'm getting from just this chart, right? We've looked at so many charts now, and we're trying to like make sense of the current situation. And if I'm using this logically, I think Bitcoin has a strong push up eventually here. Not too. What's the time frame for that? Do you know?
What do you mean?
Like each candle, is it like the weekly?
These looks like daily.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
yeah. So,
well, no. I think you're right. I think this is the weekly. Yeah, this is the weekly because this.
Regardless,
it doesn't have the things at the bottom for this chart, but yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, it's that same the whole point of this chart is saying that we pulled back in one of those 30% ranges, right? And so should see a push up, but we've been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, man. All right. So Coinbase says, "Don't miss our event tomorrow. Exciting product announcements, key business updates, lots of cool stuff." To everyone's kind of rumoring that their app's going to launch tomorrow. Officially, their new base app where you're going to be able to basically do everything inside. This could be pretty big. Are you kind of expecting anything from this, or have you had any rumors, or maybe that you feel like this isn't as bullish as other people are kind of saying, right?
Yeah, I think people have been anticipating this. I have, but honestly, the way that things have been rolling out lately, I don't expect much. So my expectations are low, and I think that if you set low expectations, especially from kind of your recent experience, then you won't be let down as much. And that's kind of how I feel about this. Because if something big comes of it, then you're just surprised. It's a pleasant surprise, right? And so
Yeah.
that's how I feel about this approach. People have been waiting for it for a long time. We'll see how it does.
Yeah, for sure. Arita says since November 22nd, Bitcoin has bounced off higher and higher lows. Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes back to what happened on 1010, where all the liquidity left. Glasshopper says a little bullish, just a tad bit bullish. He says that's one wicked looking 4-hour candle close. Yeah, for sure. My guy Ryan is here. He said, "What's up, my dudes?" He says, "Time to pump it up. I never doubt the power of Xmas spirit." Bro, we're about what 8 days away from Christmas. I can't see any Santa Claus rally happening unless it happens
Hey,
on Christmas Day itself.
it's the night before Christmas all through the house.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding. But
all I want for Christmas is a market that's not sideways. I don't know.
yeah.
Glasshopper says there will always be 30 to 40% dips during the bull. Yeah, there's usually 6 to be exact, 6. So, jumping over to this here, my fellow Americans, says the President of the United States, "I'll be giving an address to the nation tomorrow night, which is tonight, live from the White House at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I look forward to seeing you then. It has been a great year for our country, and the best is yet to come." I completely disagree. I don't think this has been a good year at all. This has been a really effed up year. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I think we're obviously our sector feels it, right? But if
yeah,
you ask some other financial areas, right? A lot of people feel like they had a pretty decent year. The S&P and some of these strong stocks, of course. Then you have gold, the gold bugs. They feel like they did pretty good. Silver's now jumping up. The collectibles market had an amazing year. It slowed down about a month ago, but that's like we're like the fat kid that doesn't get picked for basketball. I'm fat, so I can say that. But I mean, like it's like everybody else is having a good time. Or have you seen Office Space where he's like,
yeah,
"I did not receive my piece of cake." I'm saying, like we didn't get our cake. It's supposed to be our birthday, and we didn't get a piece of cake, man. Everybody else got a piece of cake.
It feels like we got fired a year ago and just no one told us.
We're in that basement. We're stuck in that basement while everybody's having fun upstairs. And
we're not the fat kid. We're the skinny kid who's starving. Like that's the one part I don't get, right? Our whole space is starving for liquidity, and no one's even like. I feel like the TradFi guys are so fat, and we're just at the table like hoping they drop like a tiny piece of steak.
Can I have some more, sir?
Yeah,
some
like
more.
seriously, that's
more.
the space right now for sure. Let's kind of get into something more fun though. Kraken and now happening on Kraken launch. If you go to sport.fun, it's not sports.fun like I thought it was going to be, but it's sport.fun.
Shouldn't it be though? I feel like
I think it's sports.fun, but this is actually really cool. So now, you go to sport.fun. I'm in the pro sector here. I'm in the football area. You can kind of go to rosters and you can kind of see this is pretty new in the sense. I still don't know how to do anything yet. But it looks like this guy is up 2%. I don't know. T. Henderson. I guess he's a running back for the Patriots.
I love
Josh
the concept
Allen.
of this.
It has really cool signal here. You're gonna buy.
Yeah, if it is what we think it is.
So I think they're getting away with it by being Jay Allen and then not having a real Bills jersey. It's just kind of like the Bills colors.
Yeah, but
very similar to what NCAA used to do.
Yeah, but they didn't put the name. So you know what I mean? I guess they could say no. We're talking about John Allen, but like if they went to court for this, I think that they would win. Like Jared Allen or the NFL, right?
Well, I think you have
But
to show proof of concept, right, first before you get like the NFL to sign on with us,
licensing,
right?
yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, if this works, then it's gonna. I think it's gonna work. First of all, so it's basically, let's kind of let the audience know what we think it is, at least. Tokenizing players, right? So it's kind of like you're putting stock in players, right? And I think that the collectibles industry is gonna love this. They already do this with like sports cards, right? So why not do it for an easy, kind of straightforward? I'm going to buy shares of Jared Allen because he's hot right now.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to, sell my shares of him while he's hot. And then he gets injured the next week. Right. So like prime example would be Patrick Mahomes before his ACL tear last week. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how hot he's been all season, but, guarantee if he was in this after that ACL tear, his thing's going to dump. Right. So I think it's cool. It's seems like it could be really fun.
Yeah, and it's running on the base mainnet, right? So if you are looking, you have to transfer USDC from your base account. So basically, you can also deposit Bitcoin or Ethereum. So say if I wanted to deposit base, what blockchain must I send funds on? Well, you just told me base, so I don't understand this. I feel like I'm getting tested. Base mainnet, like I don't know, like is this a test now? What is the only currency I should transfer? USDC. Oh, it's like they're making before they give you the address, they're making sure that you
understand.
If I transfer any token except USDC, on base the account will be lost.
I'll lose my funds. Right?
Be admired by my friends and loved ones. No, lose my funds. Like that.
And there's like the aptitude test.
Well, I know you can only send USDC on base, right? And that's just kind of how I'll do it. I'm interested. I might send a little bit USDC and just kind of mess around.
I'm definitely going to do that because I feel like I mean, you're basically betting on player performance. Do that basketball, because basketball is the one that I feel like is going to be really heating up, because we're getting to the playoffs for NFL, but basketball just finished their first half and then about to kick off the second one. So definitely seems like it'd be fun. And you and I grew up watching sports and stuff like that. So
I think you have basketball. Oh, it says soon.
Oh, okay.
They have American football and football. I guess that's just soccer, right?
Yeah.
And then so right now it's just football and soccer. But it looks like basketball is coming, so that's pretty cool. The ticker is Fun. So there's a token that runs this whole thing called Fun. So I don't know. Head over to sports.fun if you're interested. Remember, base chain USDC is the only thing you can deposit. So all right, let's move to the next thing here. Let me get this off the screen. All right, cool. All right, so silver is now the top 4th asset by market cap, beating Bitcoin. Bitcoin was ahead of silver for a long time. Here it is right here. All right, so you see silver right now in the 4th spot. It beat Google. Remember, Bitcoin was in the top 4, and now silver is. It's up 4% today. Silver is a $3.7 trillion asset. Crazy. Bitcoin is a $1.7 trillion asset. So it's pretty bad. You're seeing Apple at 4 trillion, Nvidia 4.1. SpaceX is going to launch, and they're going to immediately come into the top 10. Pretty much, I think, which I think is crazy. But Saudi Aramco was number 1 for a long time. Now it's in the 12th spot. So
SpaceX is gonna their valuation is 1.5 trillion.
Yeah, so they're gonna land in between 10 and 11, but who knows when they go public, they might actually take out Tesla.
That's so
Which
crazy.
one would you rather own, Tesla or SpaceX?
Both, like he does. No, just kidding.
I'm saying, like, if you had to pick one.
Man, I think SpaceX can have the opportunity to like there's no ceiling, because if they're going to be putting data centers out, and I'm more worried about them crashing into the earth than anything, but like obviously they're gonna make sure that doesn't happen, hopefully. But
imagine that lawsuit though, if it hits your house.
House.
You could sue SpaceX, bro. Like
if you're not a pancake or freaking smashed like a burned alive.
Yeah, so the thing is, the big selling point is Google wants to put data centers in space using companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. Blue Origin isn't there yet, so obviously right now the only place they can go is SpaceX. So SpaceX has been launching more and more satellites. Well, that's the thing already. Like the entire country above it is we're sitting on these satellites that are ran with Starlink, right? So we're already seeing that. Now they want to put data centers close to the sun, so it'll be far away from Earth. It'll be closer to the first two planets in that sense, and just have it just floating out there.
Yeah, I mean, but the revenue that they'll generate, I think, will be really, really like
there's
big.
no electricity. There's no electricity bill because you're using the sun. So interesting. All right, in 2010, Gavin Andresen, he was the guy that Satoshi felt comfortable leaving in charge of Bitcoin website and stuff like that. Gavin was he took over a lot of Satoshi's responsibilities when Satoshi left for good, and he was a fully doxed guy. And one of the reasons why Satoshi left, though, was Gavin was meeting with a lot of U.S. senators and stuff like that, and Satoshi didn't want to get involved in all that. One of the emails Gavin sent Satoshi was, "Hey, like it would be great if you doxed yourself and came to one of these events and kind of showed it." That's when Satoshi was like, "Nah, stop the email." And Gavin, and Gavin basically just took this solo. Gavin was like what Brian Armstrong's doing today, what he was doing in 2010, 2011. But anyway, Gavin, he wanted to create more Bitcoin holders, so he started this thing called freebitcoins.appspot.com. You could come here and get 5 free Bitcoin in 2010 for just signing the captcha, for just solving the captcha. That's it. They had 750 Bitcoin available, so you could come here, once every 24 hours and get 5 Bitcoin. You could donate here as well. So no catch. I want Bitcoin to be successful, so I created this little service to give you a few coins to start. At the time, these coins were valued around 2-3 cents. And then you were able to come here and basically get 5 Bitcoin each day.
Oh man, wouldn't it be amazing just to go back to 2010 and just use different browsers? Just Control R, right? Control Shift R, and just keep getting Bitcoin. 5 Bitcoin per, and it's 10 cents, right? At the end of the day, right? So
2 cents, yeah.
So well, if you get 5, then it's 10.
Yeah.
But so you don't feel like they're much. And I wonder how many people got some of those and still held the entire
There wasn't
time.
even a marketplace yet. This is pre Silk Road. This is pre Mount Gox.
Mount Gox.
Yeah. Like you couldn't even buy or sell Bitcoin. Like so how you bought Bitcoin back then was you either meet with somebody IRL or you do PayPal. You send that person and hope that they send you the Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's like the early days of ordinals where people were doing it on spreadsheets.
So, but back then, a lot of people who were mining the Bitcoin, they were happy to kind of just give a lot of the Bitcoin away. I mean, this is around the time that you saw the Bitcoin pizza happen. 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 large pizzas around this time. These are some of the OGs. Without these guys, though, without them doing that, I don't know if Bitcoin would be as successful as it is today without having guys like this, Gavin, and the Bitcoin pizza guy and stuff. So fun. All right. So Kraken officially confirmed to keep listing Terra Luna. So LUNC is still on Kraken, and everyone's wondering why. So obviously, Terra Luna was put on there when it was $90. Today it's like 0.0001 of a penny. So what do you think? Why do you think they're keeping LUNC on there? Remember, it used to be called Luna. But then they launched another Luna token to kind of airdrop the holders of Luna Classic, but they're keeping Luna Classic up there, the original Luna token.
There must be a decent amount of volume being traded, like perps wise there, and I think perps wise, Luna Classic does do a good amount of volume, right? It was weird how it got like traction. Where was it launched? Do you remember?
It was a Cosmos chain.
No, I mean like the Luna Classic token. So
Luna Classic is just Luna. They just changed the
regular. Okay, so it's still the original Luna.
It's still the original Luna. Yeah.
So I mean, I mean, obviously they're getting volumes for perps, so it makes sense for them not to close it and not to get rid of it.
Yeah, for sure. So this is like the official message they put out. Luna stays on Kraken. We're reaching out to follow up on our previous message regarding the planned delisting of Luna. So they did plan it. But after completing internal review, we've decided to continue supporting Luna on Kraken. There's no longer a delisting scheduled for an asset. Do you think they should change the ticker back to Luna at this point? Because Luna 2 failed completely, and this was like, at least, you know, it has that OG feeling to it, right? I don't know.
No, I mean, it's called Classic, so I should have known that that was like the OG because of the name of it. But I did, like, I remember whenever someone launched the second one, and it actually got volume and all that stuff too, like a long time ago. And but like the crazy thing, and like a situation that I would never think could happen would be like if Luna Classic actually like came back super hard or something, and then Do Kwon's in jail, seeing like Luna Classic go up, that would be like absolutely like crazy, be comical for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's still a top 100 token, I think. I just think but I could be wrong. I think so.
We got a question from Stan. He says, when did the channel find Bitcoin?
I found it August 8th, 2020. Anthony Pompliano went on the Rich Dad Poor Dad podcast and started talking about it. I ended up buying my first full Bitcoin 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I actually came into Bitcoin in 2013. I think it was like April or March. But one of my coworkers was telling me about it, and I looked it up. I was like, okay, this is new. And I bought some actually through Coinbase. I have the receipt in my email too. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? And it just sat there, and, you know, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to buy some of these cheaper coins that can maybe be the next Bitcoin. And it all started then. I mean, and at that point Bitcoin had ran up. That's why my coworker even knew about it. So I think it ran up to like $1,000 that year or something. It had pulled back to around 680 is when I got it, but I only bought probably like $400 worth at the time or something. So, yep, that was when.
Yeah, man. All right. Tether rolls out PearPass, a decentralized password manager designed to keep encrypted data off the cloud. So you know how right now everyone's kind of like, you know, using these two factors, stuff like that. So Tether went and they created this no servers to hack and no cloud to leak, just pure local security. So PearPass, pass.pair.com download. So you download this and you can put all your seed phrases in this. Apparently it's like, I don't know. Would you use something like this? I don't know.
No servers to hack, no cloud to leak, just pure local security. I definitely would before using it, I would thoroughly like research every aspect of how, because I mean, like, you're not just storing one password, right? You're doing multiple.
Storing everything in there.
Yeah,
So you download it. It would.
That'd be.
It looks like it'll be a Google thing or whatever up there.
Google
and
Google account.
No, it would be a you know, just like we have like MetaMask and stuff like that. What is that called?
The authentication.
No, the Google dApps or whatever. The thing's in the little puzzle.
Google
piece.
Play Store.
No, the thing's in the puzzle piece.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Extensions, Google extensions, Google extensions.
Gotcha.
Cross-platform support, open source community, PearPass. What makes PearPass different than traditional cloud-based password managers? Stores data in the cloud. Traditional password managers store data in the cloud. PearPass stores data on your device. You retain full ownership of this. So unless your actual device gets hacked, that's the only way people can get your stuff. But I'd be more worried about my device getting hacked than Google Cloud, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where people get messed up anyways, is they click on a link and then they end up giving remote control, you know, device control. And so then that's probably where most people get stuck and lose their stuff.
Mo says, when did the channel lose Bitcoin? I want to
2013.
say May of 2014. No, May of 2024 is kind of when I lost most of my Bitcoin because it was just down only. And so Stan says getting in the early prophetic.
Prophetic. Yeah.
And then 2013, wow. MoICP says passkey. That's basically what it is. Yeah, it's just a decentralized version of that. Well, what's up, MoICP? Did you mint any 7Z? Did you miss any of that? Let's kind of get into that. So I'm kind of waiting for this thing to be over here. Let me give it a refresh. Maybe we'll see it together. So 7Z is supposed to be going here. So if you don't know about satsman.fund, very bullish on it. They did about 1.5 Bitcoin, which congratulations to them on the
That's a
first
good amount.
405 satsmen have officially been a part of this. So this is the ticker 7Z. It's the first 7. Casey did some weird thing with the thing where, you know, this is like the first one that drops as a 7Z. So now it's official. And as the days pass, you can unlock different seven tickers. So that's crazy. So runes is 7 tickers now, right? I mean, it feels like it was yesterday when you can only do 13. So we're gonna get down to 4 and 3. How crazy is that gonna be over a three character rune in probably like a year or two?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because then at that point you just use it for the hashtags. You know,
Yeah.
I can see that those being like really popular and fought over. Actually, the market obviously has to be better, but you know, for like once you start to get to 5, I feel like it's more desirable, even you know, even more so. And then you get to 3, dude, they might be worth a lot, like just the tickers.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, some people grab the early 13 tickers, and I think that might have been a mistake. The trick is to maybe use the satsman
What about the
for
one letter
when
ticker?
the time comes.
One character ticker. A.
Once damn, looks like people still are putting sats in here. I don't think you could, but details. Yeah, I'm curious when this is going to be officially overspanned 3 days. It went 3 days and 432 blocks. Yeah, I'm curious when
Well,
you'll
it
be
did
able
hit
to.
it hit it, supposedly it hit the block to trigger it to start putting the liquidity together. So
Yeah, I seen that. I'm just looking. I'm kind of confused. 412K sats per block. I'm curious how this works. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
click on open chat real quick. This is gonna probably surprise you a little bit.
Well, no, I've signed up for this. Yeah, I was in here.
Isn't this the thing we were talking about though?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he did it. He did
so
it that night. This is something I asked him to do. Just like add these chat room things, and you can now come over here, and every single token now will have a chat.
OC
So I
chat,
think that's
yeah.
really cool. Yeah. So this is OC.app. It's a ICP style little Telegram. It's really cool. So sign up for this if you haven't. If you want to be talking in these rooms here. So really cool. Let's go. Here we go. So. Yeah, man. All right. So a Unisat, they said we're making a difficult decision to inactivate the BRC-20 swap module on Bitcoin mainnet, as we've been unsuccessful in expanding its adoption by other indexers. So they weren't able to really get indexers to pick this up. If you were a part of the BRC community, you were kind of banking on Unisat to kind of get this going here, but Unisat has officially given up on it. They said they will support BRC 2.0 and their swaps, so there might be a Uniswap swap version of that. But we do know you have to bridge into that and bridge out, so that sucks. I honestly don't want no part of that. But it's kind of feels like an end of an era. Remember we were talking about Unisat with their swap module for, I mean, I think it felt like February of 2024, and it just hasn't worked out.
Yeah, it just was a failed experiment. You know, they did try in the beginning, but it was just not a good experience as well. Like, I mean, I've had my honk BRC-20 stuck in there for so long, and it was just a pain to try to get it out. And so now it seems like, you know, you can get that stuff out. And Best in Slot, I think, or somebody from the BRC 2.0 world announced that the AMM is supposed to be on mainnet January something now. So yeah, the experiment continues, right? The experiment continues. And I was thinking about this yesterday too, right? Like, and I think like Satsman is really awesome because they're also leveraging ICP tech stack though. So you have to remember that. So you know, for the meta protocols that are purely only using like layer 1, I think that's actually kind of stopped the building, right? Even BRC 2.0 is leveraging EVM and all these things, right? So even if like there's an amazing experience right now, I do think like the market healing process still needs to be completed, and then you'll see more participants come in, but they're going to have to see success, right? So that's why I think it's smart to release stuff, but you know got to show that proof of concept, like you say, right?
Yep, 100%. 100%. And the final thing I have here before we get into the Bitcoin price action is Jito Labs or Jito Foundation is coming home and they're throwing a party, they said. So they're officially coming back to the US. So Jito started in the US, but because of regulation, they decided to move overseas. They were in Dubai for a little bit. But now they're coming back to the US. The foundation will officially be in the US. So do you think this happens more and more? I love to see this because now it feels like these companies feel safe to build here and build the right way, especially when the Clarity Act comes out.
Yeah, I do expect to see more of this from teams that did move away because of that, right? So I do expect to see more of this. And welcome home, Jito.
Yeah. And I think I think if FTX was onshore, because remember they were in the Cayman Islands, or not Cayman Islands, they were in Jamaica,
somewhere over there. No, it's Cayman.
Yeah,
I think
Cayman. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever. No. I think they weren't
in Jamaica,
Hawaii or something.
No, not Hawaii. Not Hawaii. It was one of the Caribbean islands.
Okay.
It was either Cayman or another one that was similar.
Oh, I was Bahamas.
Okay, there you go.
The Bahamas. So, but that's the thing. If we had clarity, FTX might have been in the US and it might not have went down. They might have had been a little bit more scrutinized when it came to investors looking at their stuff, right? And I feel like because they were so far away in Bahamas and stuff, they maybe lacked some of the people coming to visit and stuff like
accountability.
that. So I don't know. Accountability. Yeah, 100%. Do you think that's true? Do you think potentially if FTX was in the US, they might not have done what they've done?
I don't think necessarily being the location really matter. I think it's more of like the state of the So let's say that like the SEC is more friendly, but there's clarity there. Being in the US does help, but at the same time, it's like if you have issues with management, which that was the whole problem with Alameda, because like think about them in this market. Like they would have got wrecked hardcore, I think, like in this market, right? Because they were trying to swing everything their way and realize that, oh, maybe we don't have so much power because, other entities like Binance and stuff, they can move the market just as much, if not more than what you're doing. But the clarity would have been, if there was regular kind of inspection type of situations. But I think that's still even a little bit further down the line from where we are now. So I think that they probably would have still ran into issues because it was way more of a management issue than anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have a feeling though that like Kevin O'Leary, who was he owned a good portion of FTX. Only people realize that above 5%. I think he would have been. So I do think if FTX didn't contact the bankruptcies right away and they would have just shut down withdrawals for a few days, I think that would have been fine. And they would have went back to their investors. They might have been able to find the money to stay open without opening the books to people like CZ. I feel like if he was in the US, it would have been easier for some of the investors to get to him before he messed up. Because when he went after the bankruptcy, there's nothing Kevin O'Leary, there's no one could do anything after that point. So I feel like he would have been guided a little better. We might not have seen the fall of FTX if he was in the US. Because all of his investors were US investors.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But I think that they were tipped off pretty.
Kevin O'Leary was on a plane to the Bahamas during the fucking conversation.
Yeah, and then also, Gary Gensler was one of the first to probably be tipped off as well. So like I think at that point there was no making it go away because it was just so widespread globally, and people were people were trying to withdraw. So like when that news started spreading, people were trying to get out of their accounts, especially the ones that had large size, right? And they couldn't because they shut it down because they didn't have, the ability to do so. So yeah, it was just like one of those. I can't imagine like him thinking about like Do Kwon spiraling out during that time because who knows how much involvement SBF had with that, but he went through that spiral too because it is like once the can was open, you can't close it back basically situation.
100%. Mo ISP says you finally joined Open Chat. Yeah, I'm over there. I'm in a couple of different chats now. I actually like it better than Telegram, honestly. Scroll to Inspire says, hey Shizzy, what's up, man? Can we talk? Yeah, I'm at Shizzy on X. If anyone ever wants to reach me, I'm at Shizzy on X. He's at Yagobi Verse on X, and together we're at OnChain Rev on X. X is the best place to reach out for sure. Ricky Ricardo Film says, does XRP have more use cases than I can't even answer this with the so
well, I mean, okay.
this.
Okay, so it, what about payment back and forth? It's almost the same with that.
No.
Why? No, I'm just saying sending Bitcoin to you and me and sending XRP to you and me, that's equal. I mean, it's just literally a process. Where I think Bitcoin has the edge is the data side of it, which the payment Bitcoin payment people don't want to acknowledge. But you know, with ordinals, you're breaking up the Bitcoin into the smallest units, and you can use Sats and inscribe on Sats and all these things, right? Yes, even if you created that in your world or whatever, you still have an indexer that does that. So I think Bitcoin has more utility than as a token itself than XRP does.
Yeah, Bitcoin is digital gold. Bitcoin is something that's revolutionized the world. Like XRP is useless now because you can just send stable coins on Solana. It's faster. It's just as fast as sending XRP, but you don't have the volatility that XRP has. Like if someone sends $1 billion from bank to bank in XRP, you're really worried that XRP could drop 2%. I mean, it's nothing when you're sending a few bucks or even a couple $100, but when you're sending billions of dollars, you're losing potentially millions on that transaction.
It just never will
you know
happen
what I mean?
outside of
It's never
stable
going to happen.
coins.
So stablecoin solves everything that XRP was supposed to solve. So XRP, I'm bullish on XRPL. I think that could be one of the top stablecoins. But again, you can't trade that trustfully on XRP Ledger. You got to trade that on EVM or Solana. So
Except
am I
wait,
bullish
you mean RUSD, not XRPL.
RLUSD? What I say?
Yeah, you said
XRPL,
XRPL, which is their ledger.
Yeah, so you can't. So XRPL is used the same way as like ordinals, right? So it's like these tokens are like off-chain indexer. It's not even like an indexer. It's weird how it happens, but it's just all off-chain. All their tokens are just basically traded in UTXOs the same way Bitcoin's
I've bought
traded,
tokens on XRPL before. I mean, it's pretty quick, but it's just, you know, I look at XRP as basically like the representation of the chain, and I guess there is an association with Ripple, though. You know, whether you say the association is that Ripple, you know, takes a lot of it and spends it, or what, but it's almost kind of like loosely associated representation asset of Ripple, and obviously the XRPL type of situation, right? So it's like the Arbitrum token in a sense. Arbitrum token doesn't do anything for gas. It doesn't do anything. You can stake it. And I believe
governance, though. You can control the chain if you get 51%. You can make any changes you want. XRP, there is no governance.
Yeah,
Ripple
so
controls everything.
I do think that they have a staking option though, but that's about it. So like even against something like Arbitrum has more use case because of governance and stakeability, but it's still pretty limited, you know what I mean, compared to like Ethereum or something like that.
XRP, when you stake that, you're staking it in a third party.
Yeah.
When you're staking Arbitrum,
I'm not
you're
talking
staking
about
it on
validators.
chain, and you know what I mean. You're staking it on chain to run an Arbitrum validator. With XRP, you're just getting portions of Brad Garlinghouse's XRP. He's just they have a bunch of it that's locked, and it opens. You know, it like every year they get a couple billion XRP right out of it, and then you're getting a portion of that when you're staking it. So even in that regard, it's still not like XRP is a meme coin. At the end of the day, XRP is a meme coin.
People will make a lot of money from XRP though, in the sense of,
Yeah, I mean, you can
trading it and getting into it as number goes up with the overall market. And TradFi is gonna
coin.
And TradFi is gonna, you know, kind of cater towards it. They already have, because they look at Brad Garlinghouse as one of them at one point. So XRP is gonna get the support. I mean, there's an ETF that has positive inflow. So I mean, they are creating some, you know, ETF shares that they have to create because of the inflows net positive, right? So like there's momentum there. It's just utility wise, you're not gonna really have too much of an argument.
it's a meme coin. It's the same as Doge, right? Institutions are going to want it on their books, just like Dogecoin. They're not going to use it for payments. They're not going to use it for any type of utility. They got to be aware that Brad Garlinghouse can dump on them at any moment. They got to be aware that, you know, the XRP Foundation can dump on them at any moment. They have to be aware that, you know, Ripple's going to go public soon, and then they're going to have a coin like XRP, which they're going to say, hey, we're just holding this coin, just like very similar to what Sailor does. Like, you know, in a way, at Ripple is kind of like MicroStrategy for XRP, right? And I think they're going to push to that area as well.
Do you think that? Well, I mean, I think Ripple will get more and more scrutinized of what they do with the XRP as time goes on, and it becomes like we have more clarity and rules around things. I'm not saying that they won't be able to sell the XRP down. I'm saying that I think there's going to have to be like very clear communication on reasons and stuff like that, what they're going to be doing with it, you know, those type of things. Because, you know, if you're going to dump XRP on a bunch of TradFi people that, you know, are in it, they're gonna raise hell, like if they get blindsided from it. So now if it's an expectation, there's communication and stuff, then at least they get time to decide what they're going to do. So I do think
that do it through Coinbase Prime, just like,
yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is
Bitcoin.
I think that there's going to be more of a like an eye on them. You know what I mean? Ripple and what they're doing with their XRP as we get more and more clarity in the future. Not BlackRock necessarily with Bitcoin or anything like that. That's different, you know, because like Ripple has a really close association with XRP, right? It's the company that created the whole thing, right? So I think that's a little different. But we'll see what clarity looks like in you know, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, because I do think clarity is going to make a difference, and it's going to make a difference on how like the, you know, CFTC engages with our space, and then SEC engages in our space.
Yeah, I mean, Ripple's number one, you know, money generation tool is selling XRP. Right? It's always been. They bring in about, I think it's like 2 or 3 billion, and you know, 75% of that is selling down XRP. The rest of it is being, you know, what's that called? They're helping out other companies and stuff like
Grants.
that, like blockchain techs and stuff like that. Yeah,
Grants.
100%. Webster says Bitcoin ordinals are like no other NFTs anywhere.
I agree with that. I mean, technically,
they're on chain, yeah.
Technically, the way that they did it, I do think it's way more elegant than your typical, you know, IPFS pointing at, you know, images. CryptoPunks version 1 on Ethereum though are on the chain, and I think that because of that, they will always have that value. That's just crazy. You know,
they're not though. The V1s are actually worth less, a lot less, like 90% less than the
actual
CryptoPunks. Yeah, so they called CryptoPunks version 1 is what you're looking for. So the CryptoPunks that are going for 100 grand and stuff like that, they're the ones that are they're just like your normal NFTs. The OG ones though are the ones.
No way. There's no way that they're not more.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go to Magic Eden, you'll see them. They're called like version 1 or something.
Are they called on-chain punks? That's not them, right?
No. Let me actually show you guys. So you guys ain't kept in the dark here. So hold on. So I know they're here. Let me actually just type it in the top.
Let's see if there's a V1. Press,
so here's
press space and then V1.
I forget what they're exactly called.
Wrapped.
CryptoPunks wrapped. Yeah. So these are all wrapped into normal NFTs. These are the V1s.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Dang,
so
the floor is 1.6 ETH. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would these not be? Why would these be less? It doesn't make sense.
I don't get it either. But these are the ones that are actually on chain. You will have to unwrap them. Right now, they're just kind of trading very similar to how, you know, the Bitcoin, you know, what are the Pepes and stuff are trading, right? They're just wrapped into these things. But the reason why I think because they're not trading as high is I think because there's a third party thing going on here. I don't think they're not using the emblem vault or anything, right? So they're using like some type of third party and stuff like that. But you can get one and you can unwrap it and actually get the punk that you have. But yeah, these were the
And then
original ones.
and then it'll be V2.
No. So
It'll still
V2 is
be
just a
V1.
complete
Okay.
complete 10,000 collection. They're not even called
Dang.
V2. They're just called punks.
Yeah,
Or
well,
crypto punks.
K-May says V1s are always at least 90% less than V2s. That's crazy.
Yeah, these are the crypto punks. These are selling for an insane amount. So, but yeah. Crazy. Shout out to K-May. Appreciate you being here today. And of course, the great Webdro. Not just on-chain data. The sats are closer to a physical collectible you own. Yeah. I mean, the only problem is like with the dust thing, it just annoys me because like it's like 541 sats, and one of them in there has the image of the node monkey, right? So it's like it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just wrapped in. So yeah, I get it. I love ordinals, don't get me wrong. For sure.
I do too. I mean, like, I mean, I like all the aspects of them, you know, like the rare stats. Let's see if he comes. He gets summoned. I didn't even mean to do that one, but like I do like rare stats. I like the cursed aspect of them. Like that's one thing I can't stop thinking about. Like what are those going to look like when ordinals market comes back, right? Like will people be looking for cursed ordinals? Will they be looking for like these like rare type of ordinals? But you know, I think first let's get the market back, right? Because it's been a, you know, pretty down only. But that's not just ordinals, that's across the market too. And people get frustrated all the time because of new ecosystems maybe not like having this huge opportunity to make money. But you got to remember there's not much money in the markets, right? And so
yeah, sorry, okay. Memetics. YouTube changed the way we see the names now. It sucks. I hate it. Say his name, man.
There he is.
He appears. Shout out to
no other show has that. No, I'm just kidding.
Shouldn't have told my boss about rare sats. He always owed me. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Do not tell your peers about crypto. Like nothing. Because it goes down and they hate you.
But it's so good when it's good, and then it's so bad.
But it's so bad when it's bad. You ready for some price action?
Guess so. I mean, yeah, we can get into that.
He said, I guess so. It could be quick.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's pretty straightforward here. But before we get into the price action, we appreciate you guys. Help us out a bit on the YouTube side. Smash that like for us. Subscribe to the channel. All that great stuff. It helps the algorithm. And turn your notifications on so you know when we're live. On the X side, let's share the space as well. X has been just suppressing all crypto content, but you guys can help us out by sharing the space for sure. Shout out to Abstract Crew, Pump Streams, Zora, Rumble, Twitch, and Kick, and Spotify. Let's get into some price action here, starting with the hour chart for Bitcoin. And as you can see, just extreme volatility, man. This was 3 hours ago. This huge candle to the upside, getting us to like, I could have sworn it wicked too. Oh, it did over here. Okay. Yeah. So this got us to, it wicked up to like 90,000, almost 400. And then what an extreme pullback. I mean, so, you know, one thing that came into my mind too about these volatile moves for Bitcoin and Ethereum is, are they trying to like get the like leverage gambling out of everybody's system? You know, in a sense, because it's like they're liquidating both ways, you know what I mean? And it's consistently happening this way. It's like, are they trying to flush that like gambling mentality out of this industry? I don't know. But, you know, that I think that's me being like an optimistic, a little naive kind of mentality, right? Like they want to do good and get people to stop gambling, when in fact these, you know, these companies are making lots of money by people getting liquidated. But you know, nevertheless, let's take a look here. You can see the MACD is just pretty much coming out of this buy pressure session. You can see the stochastics also heading down that fast line, which really wants to race past the 20-point mark there, as you can see. But I do think majority of this pullback has happened, right? Maybe we kind of get back to where we were, which would be 86,350 around there. You know, wouldn't be shocked if that happens, but I do think like we've had significant pullback here. So I don't expect us to have like an extreme hardcore bleed out. But you know, we are definitely going to come out of this buy pressure, in my opinion. we'll start a sell pressure session on the MACD. I just think it might be maybe a weaker one because we've already gone through a lot of this. And one of my theories is that, you know, they keep swinging it back and forth because maybe on the 19th we get the bad, you know, obviously they're going to be increasing rates in Japan, and that always has a negative effect on price action for Bitcoin. So if we can swing back to 88.90, maybe the you know, taking a hit from that won't hit Bitcoin's price too bad, and it's just swinging back and forth until that happens. But yeah, so that's what I'm expecting right now. Chop with a little bit of downside. Wouldn't be too shocked if we get to 85. But I would be shocked if we got like into the lower 80s. That would surprise me if we got to like 84, 83. Because like I said, I think a lot of this pullback already happened. But that's my opinion, right? So you got to do kind of your own analysis off of that. I'm just going off of what these indicators are telling me, and that is that we're still in sell pressure and probably see a little bit more there as we haven't even started the actual session yet, but that should pop up here in the next, I would say, hour or two. And then you can see the 4-hour weak buy pressure. I'm talking, this is extremely weak, you know. Do we pop out of this? Honestly, it's, you know, depending on how long that sell pressure session lasts on the hour chart, you know, I could see us kind of go into sell pressure again, you know, an extension of this area here, and just maybe light though, right? And so we haven't had a good buy pressure session on the 4-hour in some time. So, you know, there could be a fake out to where, like I said, we get to like 85, we start a little sell pressure here in the next 8 hours, and maybe we come out of that. We'll see. But as of right now, it definitely seems like a little bit further down, maybe for Bitcoin for today. The daily just starting the sell pressure session as well. So be watching this. I think this is important to see. Do we go into a strong kind of session here? I don't think so. Like I said, I feel like most of that sell down already happened. You know, because let's say that we start to get aggressive here on the MACD for the downside, we're going to see low 80s for sure if the daily chart goes there. I mean, it's just inevitable if we start to see some of these big MACD candles to the downside, but I just don't see that happening. Maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, if we do revisit lower 80s, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I think going into the 70s would be the worst thing in the world. But so something I'm keeping my eye on for the daily chart on Bitcoin is how aggressive does this sell pressure session get and how long does it last? Because I'm not so convinced we're going to have a long one. So that is Bitcoin, Ethereum on the hour chart, well below 3,000, following Bitcoin's lead here. You can see that the sell pressure session started already for Ethereum here. If we go to the 4-hour, 4 hours, and the extension has already happened, right? We never closed out of it here. So 4 hours continuing that downside pressure there. And then you get to the dailies kind of has that jump start as well, showing, you know, that first candle here, which is a bit bigger than Bitcoin's for the daily chart. So unfortunately, I'm seeing, you know, choppiness with some downside, slight downside, not so aggressive downside, but some slight downside for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And also, like, what happens tonight, like with this announcement? Does that change things, right? Because that could, you know, I mean, I'm not counting on it. Every time that they say that Trump's going to talk, it does either nothing or bad for us. So maybe we get a Christmas surprise, but my expectations are not high for that. So that is Bitcoin, Ethereum. Taking a look here. This was green earlier today, but it's all pretty much red now. You're seeing some pretty significant pullbacks. You see Tau down 9%, PancakeSwap down 9%, Leo down almost 20% there, ICP down 4.5%, Bonk down 4.5%. Some stuff that is pulled back up. Midnight finally having a green day, which makes sense because it got beat up so bad. So what happens when the token gets beat up so bad? When the rest of the market kind of enjoys some green, well, whenever the rest of the market doesn't enjoy and gets a lot of red, sometimes those tokens that already got beat up have a little bit of a bounce back, right? You see Morpho up 6.2%, Ondo down 5.1%. So for the most part, we're looking at about 4 to 7, 8% pullback for the top 100 tokens. Looking at the top 200 here, Beat is back in the green. So this is something that took a day off of being green yesterday, but it's back up 29%. Merlin Chain up 5.5%, sitting at 41 cents there. Pippin up 8%. This thing has been rocking and rolling. See it at $400 million market cap. Tibber up 27%. Pulse and Hex both down. Pulse down 11%, Hex down 12%, and then you see Pulse X down 12%. And the rest of everything in the top 100, around 5 to 7, 8% pullback. I'm curious, how's that thing with Richard Hart doing right now?
We have till January 8th. You can still invest every day. You get less and less tokens. So it has this scale right now. I think we're like in the middle area, but we still have like 20 days left, 25 days left to there. So we'll see what happens. And then he's going to distribute. Who knows when you're going to get the token though, right? Because like when he did Pulse Chain, it was like February. He didn't give out the token for a year and a half, right? So it's like just because, just because you're in there. But Richard Hart is somebody who understands markets. He's not going to release that token and just to a sell-off, right? He's going to do it when times are good and people want to get more proof X. Remember, it's a privacy asset, and it's going to be on base chain. It's going to be on a lot of these Bitcoin L2s. I mean, not Bitcoin L2s, Ethereum L2s, and stuff like that. What it does, I have no idea, but we'll find out. I invested $600 into it, so. But yeah, man. But that's our show for you guys today. Got 162 people watching, man. Really appreciate every single one of you guys, man. Say each and every day. That's not including everyone on Twitch, Kick, Rumble, Abstract. We're going to be on Facebook soon. We're going to be on, hopefully on TikTok soon as well. But really appreciate every single one of you guys. And we're going to be on Spotify later today. I always take the episode and upload it to Spotify with timestamps. But I appreciate every single one of you guys.
Absolutely, guys. Without you guys, we couldn't do this show. And just know, like, I know a lot of you guys are hurting from the market. So are we. Like, we're all in this together, right? And you guys are showing up every day still. So definitely admirable that you guys are doing that. And you make the show fun, right? We do this to interact with you guys. So keep those comments coming in. Of course, we appreciate all that. And of course, we appreciate all your support. But also without our partners, we couldn't do this as well. They help kind of support the show. So if you could check them out, we would be greatly appreciative. Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you are looking to jump or bridge your Bitcoin ordinals or Bitcoin NFTs like Rare Pepes or Nakamoto cards, you can use, or you have to use, Emblem Vault. They are the sole provider of doing that, and they've been doing this since 2021. And they've been building on Bitcoin since 2013. But you can take a loan out against your Taproot Wizard right now on the Gandhi application, which is the largest borrowing and lending application on Ethereum's blockchain. The Emblem team is going to open this up to other EVM environments as well as Solana, and I believe HBAR as well. But speaking of Solana and HBAR, they have the best AI product in those ecosystems, agenthustle.ai. Visit the website there. You can try the free subscription level just to get a little taste. You can ask Hustle to find you some low cap gems and whatever ecosystem. They got Solana, HBAR. They also have Binance Smart Chain. You can ask Hustle, bring me back some low cap gem opportunities. He'll bring you back some and give you reasons why he thinks that they're solid. You can also make some buy and sell limit orders, as there's a conditional engine that's built in Hustle, and you can do that in all the ecosystems there, utilizing Hustle for that. So you can get a taste with this free subscription, and then you want to level up there so you can get more prompts and tool sets. And they are the paid subscription levels, right? But you can pay with the Hustle token, which is the single token that powers the entire ecosystem, and you'll get a 30% discount. So make sure you check out agenthustle.ai to learn more there. And there is another product in their ecosystem called migrate.fun. Migrate.fun is the premier migration third-party service, right? So if you're looking to migrate from Pump Fund to Bonk Fund or to your own LP, you got to use Migrate.fun. You can do it from any launchpad to launchpad. They can guide you through the process of getting that liquidity out. Of course, your community needs to be on board, but they're in the middle of the Pump Fund cohort right now. They migrated, I believe, 3 or 4 teams already. Smooth as butter the entire process has been. But check it out if you're interested. You can learn kind of by seeing how this migration is going. So head over to migration.fun, reach out to their team if you're interested, and ask any questions directly to them. They're very open and easy to contact. And then go to emblem.vision to learn about the products I just broke down for you guys. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin's strength through the power of AI. They have their Wizard version 2.0 that guides you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. But it's not just Merlin Chain's ecosystem. They can swap for popular tokens outside the ecosystem like Solana tokens or BSC tokens. All you got to do is have some Merlin Chain Bitcoin in your Merlin Chain wallet. and they can do those swaps for you. Also, going back to the ecosystem, Merlin Chain uses a proof of stake security model, and you can participate in 3 ways. The first way is staking Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. The first staking vault ended September 30th, and they were able to get 17% APR for their Bitcoin stakers. So you get paid in Bitcoin, by the way, which is amazing, right? But the current staking vault ends January 8th. You can still jump in for a couple days of earning, but you might want to wait. It's up to you until the next vault opens, which should be shortly after this one closes. And then there's 2 ways to participate with the Merlin Chain token. The first one is the flexible option, which is a day-to-day option. You earn 15% APR with the Merlin tokens that you stake, right? And you can claim those rewards every single day. Do whatever you want with them. You can roll them up in a compound interest, sell them, keep them in your wallet, whatever you want. It does take 7 days if you want to withdraw your Merlin, though. It's just their standard protocol just to make sure everything's good. And then the last option is the bonded option, which is a 6-month lockup period, but you earn 45% APR. You can claim those rewards daily as well, which is really awesome. They are locked up for 6 months, so just know that, but that's why you get the 45% APR there. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more and follow them on X. And also, congratulations to the Merlin team, because they are going to be live, I think, tomorrow on Coinbase Perps. Man, this team has been crushing it for sure. Like, Merlin token is going to be on Coinbase Perps, and I feel like something's going to follow up after that, but, we'll see what happens with that, right? But yeah, you can follow.
99% of the tokens that are on Coinbase Perps eventually get listed to Coinbase. So there's like a few outliers, but I don't think Merle's going to be one.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, so check out merlinchain.io, and you can follow them. Their X is on their website as well. And then satsman.fun is our latest partner, right? They just launched their runes meme coin launchpad. The mechanisms is really cool. You can, try to get the early tickers. You can, basically get in line for them, and then you have to go through a bidding war. But the focus right now is on these 3 Genesis tokens that the team launched. And it looks like 7Z has, finished up in terms of, getting ready to port over the liquidity. It's exciting. I think they raised like 1.5 million for that liquidity pool. I think that, this is going to be a really fun environment.
Bitcoin.
Right? That's what I meant. 1.5 Bitcoin, which is, how much is that? It's probably like 130,000 or something.
Yeah.
150. Yeah,
it's like 1.7 now. They keep getting more and more Bitcoin in there, which I don't know.
Maybe you can still mint then. Yeah, maybe you
know.
can. That Satsman keeps running, but the team behind this is really what got us. Louis Liu and his team, very passionate about building solutions on Bitcoin layer 1. They are leveraging ICP's tech stack to make this process more, enjoyable, the UI better, less friction. But they're using Bitcoin layer 1 like completely on this as well. So it's going to be an exciting time to see this ecosystem thrive. And, the Omnity network right now, their ecosystem is not going to just be meme launchpads, right? I think there's going to be more, but the satsman.fun is really kicking it off. So go to the website, visit over there, mess around with it. And then tomorrow, during the Ordinal Hive spaces, you can ask some questions as well. They should be over there. So we appreciate you guys for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io. Some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering a space, please send them our website. Really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, highly recommend Nord. I use it each and every single day. I have it on my phone, every computer, everything else. Definitely check out our link here if you're interested. This will allow you to do stuff like Hyperliquid, MEXC, pretty much anything that you've ever been geo-blocked. This stops that. You can put it to Italy, you can put it to El Salvador, you can put it to anywhere in the world to make you feel that way. That's where you're at, right? And it even changes your TikTok. So you get like Italian TikTok or El Salvador TikTok. It's pretty cool. And on top of that, you're getting a deal here of basically $3 a month, right? If you lock it in for 2 years, you get an additional 3 months. So you get 27 months for like $70. You can't beat this deal. Get in today. Get yourself a VPN. And on top of that, if you guys need a ledger, we are now affiliates with Ledger. So if you're interested in getting, a ledger for Christmas or getting yourself a present or whatever, use our link here. It definitely helps the show. And you guys can get this amazing deal, $74 for Ledger Nano X. Do not buy your ledgers from Amazon. Do not buy them from eBay. Make sure you use our links, because we know that it is the official site of Ledger, and you guys can get them all here. They have some pretty cool new stuff as well, so check out that if you're interested. My favorite though is the Nano X. You know, I got mine for 130, so you're actually getting a better deal than I got mine a couple years ago. So definitely highly recommend that. And you guys can find everything on onchainrevolution.io. And remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain, 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 OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go, Bitcoin controlling. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction.